Well, welcome everybody back to the Flying Doghouse. It's cross-country flight time in the MH-60. We're going to take off here from Hatteras Coast Guard Station, and we're going to make our way north. We'll visit the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse first. Then we'll make our way over to the Bodie Island Lighthouse, and we're going to land there and check out some very fine custom scenery that we're featuring today. The Cape Hatteras Lighthouse that we're going to fly over has been nicely modeled in Flightsim 2020 and 2024, so no need for that. The Bodie Island Lighthouse is available on Flightsim.to, and it's specifically built for Flightsim 2024. So, at any rate, I invite you to check out the review that we did of the MH-60. This video will be released after that goes live, probably in about a week. So, check that one out if you enjoy this one. Or if you enjoyed that one, enjoy this one. All right, we're going to take off here. Let's jump inside the cockpit and get going. Okay, so here we go. Partner coming off. And power will be applied. This one is just a lot of fun. All right, so I do have multiplayer traffic turned on, so we're going to see some nameplates as we go, but that's okay. This person flying this Pitts S2 is going to get to see a MH-60. Or a very, very slow traveling Bonanza. Their mileage will vary. All right, so we're going to make our way up the coastline here. Just taking the scenery for a bit. All right, we are coming up on Mitchell Field here. Operated by the North Carolina Park Service. A refueling station that takes plastic and drink machines and restrooms. Your accommodations there. What a cool place to fly into to go fishing. Or seashell hunting. Okay, so we are coming up on Cape Hatteras, tip here. And they need to do some work on the end of the island. Obviously there are not large boulders there, it's sand. Anyway, we'll looks like wave action too from the Google Maps, Google Earth stuff. Okay, here is the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse, complete with its black and white candy cane striping. And I think about every time I record a video here, I talk about them moving the lighthouse. So why should this video be any different? So you can see the path. They built a pathway for the lighthouse and moved it. So the original location of the lighthouse, I'll try to point it out, will be somewhere in the neighborhood of about here in the ocean. We'll swing back around. Yeah, there we go. Lower altitude here and get a better look at the lighthouse. But you can see the pathway that they took to move it. And it was not taken apart and moved. It was moved on its base. And interestingly enough, right now they are doing some additional renovation to the lighthouse. It's a major tourist attraction here. It is absolutely beautiful. And there's the keeper's house as well. Okay. Make our way. Okay, so there is a single road here that runs the length of this stretch of beach, North Carolina Highway 12. This area of North Carolina, I guess it was last week or week before last, we had a hurricane go up the eastern seaboard and brush against the Outer Banks here, and this area was mandatory evacuated. Quite a significant tidal surge, I think, was expected. And you can see how narrow the land is. So this is no place to be. In a hurricane. So one of the things they did add to this part of North Carolina in Flightsim 2024 are a number of helipads. There are a couple of healthcare facilities that are located out here on the Outer Banks. Definitely have need sometimes to rapidly move someone to a larger care facility. Actually, the livery for this U.S. Coast Guard MH-60 that we are using for today's video is one from Elizabeth City, North Carolina, which is just to the northeast of Corolla and the village of Duck. There is an active Coast Guard station there, so. At any rate, local flight, local colors, local trivia. moving along quite nicely. I don't want to get myself into an overspeed situation. We're close. Excuse me. Well, they don't call me Speed Racer for nothing. Alright, get our airspeed back out of the warning zone here. But I've had this aircraft for about 4 or 5 days now, and it is rapidly becoming one of my favorite, period. And I think it also edges out the Chinook for favorite helicopter category. It's just quite good. As I mentioned in the initial review video, not affiliated with the developer in one way whatsoever, other than me spending my my funds out of my wallet to make the purchase. If you like helicopters, you're going to love this. Okay, we continue to make our way up Hatteras Island here. Again, following North Carolina 12. Eventually I'll get the airspeed figured out on this. All those other fun things. Every day's a learning day. Or it should be anyway. This is definitely a section of North Carolina 12 that historically washed out on the regular. Hence the bridge to our left. Maintain access to this part of the island. Let's jump outside. And the scenery just continues to get better and better in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. This tidal marsh here is, it looks very good. And this particular bridge, in its earlier incarnation, went straight across here. So they figured out they needed to take it to the sound side. It's quite an impressive sight. Okay, so we're coming up on the Bodie Island Lighthouse. Myself a little bit lower and slower. Yeah, one of the things that you can't really get a good perspective of from above is just how tall these dunes are that and the slope of the beach. It's quite impressive. Several trips over the years to this part of the state. The first trip here was with my grandparents. I think it was about, I was between 5 and 6 years old, I think, when we made the first trip. Okay, here's Bodie Island Lighthouse. I'm going to swing around and then come in the other direction here. So again, this scenery for the lighthouse is available for download over on Flightsim.to. And we'll make our way around here. So this is using level of detail for Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. So I just noticed that the lighthouse just popped in. That is done for bandwidth management purposes. We're so slowed up here. The developer went to great pain to model all sorts of things here. Turn the helicopter again. in. I am not in a hurry. Okay, so the life-saving station here as well. I think there's a museum for the life-saving station that's located here. Go back and take a peek. But at any rate, the scenery developer has done the boardwalk and parking spots, and the attention to detail here is quite impressive. Might be worth your time for a Google search for North Carolina lighthouses and learn about history. Anyway, this one was horizontal stripe, black and white, so it's very distinctive. Cape Hatteras is the is what I call the candy cane effect, black and white paint. There are number of lighthouses that are here on the North Carolina coast, so interesting tour. Right. And in 2024, if we land here, we are going to kick up a ton of sand. So I'm doing the next best thing here. I'm just giving a little bit of a hugger tour here. You can see visitors on the ground, cars in the parking lot. It's very well done, and it's freeware, so I'm sure the developer would appreciate a donation if you feel so inclined. All right, let's make our way to the north. There's the dock I was talking about, and the boardwalk elevated over into the salt marsh. Okay, we will make our way north. So we are not far now from Kitty Hawk. Make our way up the beach. Right off our 12 o'clock is Jockey's Ridge State Park, very, very large sand dune. And I mention it every time I fly through here, but for those of you who might be new, wonderful place to fly a kite and hang glide. The dune is huge. So this little section here is called Whalebone. But you're going to find all sorts of things to see and do here. There are golf courses and lots of beach condos and cottages and such. As well as the Wright Brothers Memorial and the Visitor Center, which is located at First Flight, so that's where we're going to make our approach. Yeah, I'll try to remember to put a link in the description for Jockey's Ridge State Park. It's quite impressive. And if you have an opportunity to make it to this part of the world, this part of the seascape from the Atlantic side of the U.S. is absolutely gorgeous. And the further north you go here from Kitty Hawk, the more sparse it gets, although it's still relatively developed, but much less so to the north. Okay, we are coming up on first flight and the memorial. See the hill here. And the memorial will start coming into focus here in a moment. But I really do appreciate the fact that Microsoft did put a lot of effort in terms of handcrafting this location. It's very, very well done. Try to the chopper and the drone camera at the same time. Give some good views here of the memorial. It is definitely quite the climb up this hill. That is for sure. Lots of signage modeled on the ground. A little too close here. Lots of things to see, do, and enjoy. And we'll come back up to the top of the visitor center here. Land in the grass. Land over here where powered flight started. I think that's an appropriate way to end this video. Probably want to stay away from the hangar and the workshop with the rotor blast here. The modeling here again is very, so there are stone markers on the ground for marking the distances of the flight attempts. See those starting points. And the visitor center looks exactly like that. Set it down right here. There we go. Jump inside. Parking brake, come on. And we'll start getting everything powered down here. All right, I'm going to leave it here. Hopefully you enjoyed the flight. Please make sure to make your way over to Flightsim.to and pick up that lighthouse, the Bodie Island Lighthouse in particular. There are also other lighthouses that are also available for your download. I think the reason that I separated out the Bodie Island Lighthouse from those is that the developer did pay particular attention to the surround immediately around the lighthouse, just to add some immersive detail. So it's very, very well done. So shout out to that. Link will be included in the description below. I'll also include the links to the others that have been out for a bit. But keep in mind that Bodie Island Lighthouse is specific to Flight Sim 2024. All right. If you haven't already done so, please like, subscribe, comment. All those things help us out with the channel. Love to have you as a channel subscriber. We're going to leave it here. I hope everybody is keeping well. And until next time, cheers, y'all.